You are listening to the Lucha Central Podcast Network. And now, LuchaCentral.com presents Masks, Mats, and Mayhem.
I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Welcome to another edition of Masks, Mats, and Mayhem. I'm your host, Justin Outlaw Harvey. You can find me on social media at JustinHarvey75. You can find the entire show on social media at MMMShow75. And that over there, hey, I did it the right way this time. That's at Byron Fever.
Thank you. Catch it.
Thank you. Oh.
I was thrown off because I did the left and the right wrong.
We're never going to get the full intro thing right. Like, I can't figure out when to hit the go live button and when to hit the we need a fucking producer. Like, I know we produce TV for a living, but that's a hack job. Like, this podcasting shit is real. Like, we need help.
We're producers, but we're also, insanely burdened by being hosts on the same show with all that we bring to the table.
Oh my God. This is unacceptable. Why does this keep happening?
I don't know, but you know what?
Every time I open up my IG, I keep thinking it's a sexy chick on a floaty, and it's this dude.
Yeah.
Freaking, that's Karrion Kross, by the way. I just want to say that right now. That's Karrion Kross. You want to know why? Because that's trying to entertain people with all the sexiness and the abs and the storyline of the boat in the background and the
pecs.
And
it's a body business.
Oh,
he's a body
pecs.
guy.
He's got a peck.
Kross is jacked these days.
Okay, he is jacked.
I thought he was strong beforehand.
We should say happy birthday to Kevin K.
Happy birthday, sir.
The infamous Killer Kross, the man formerly. What do we do with the Karrion thing? It's like I feel so bad about Karrion Kross. Let me tell you why I feel bad about Karrion Kross, Byron.
I have a question for you. Why do you feel so bad about Karrion Kross?
That's a really good question. And funny you should bring that up because it's like all of these wrestling fans that I would not say are my people, but are still wrestling fans, they only know him as Karrion Kross.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's like, to pay him respect, I almost want to say Karrion Kross at times so idiots know who we're talking about. But, he had probably his biggest indie run as Killer Kross, right? And he had his early run as Kevin Kross, and then he was the White Rabbit in Lucha Underground, but everybody there just called him Kross. We all knew he was Kross, even though none of those are his birth name. His birth name is John Gotti Jr. or something like that. Right?
Capra.
Alpha Hitman Omega.
Who's
his real name? It's been published already. When he got signed into WWE, I think it went out there. But I don't need to bust.
We don't need to EVW bust out Pentagon's real name for no reason.
Like, and honest to God, Pentagon is still one of the more protected ones out there. Like, I actually don't know what Pentagon looks like. I know what Phoenix looks like, but I've also hung out with him a couple times. I've never hung out or been anywhere with actually, maybe I have. I probably have. I'm almost going to assure myself that I have. In fact, I think when we were backstage at Lucha Underground, he was back there without a mask on, but I didn't know who he was, so I wouldn't have known that it was Pentagon that I was looking at without a mask.
That's weird. I mean, Phoenix was without one then, and he went and put a mask on.
Phoenix ran and got one, but Phoenix already knew that I also already knew what he looked like.
Yeah, I feel like Pentagon would, if he, especially during the Lucha Underground days, because we were buds back then. One time he held my wrist when he super kicked Ricochet. I don't know if I've ever told that story, but it was great. And I feel like if he saw me backstage, he would
run and put a mask on and be mad.
Try and sell me a mask on the spot, since I already bought like 3 of them by that time.
Well, let's be honest. If you really wanted to see a luchador without a mask, just offer to buy the one off of their face after a show, and they would have sold it.
Yeah, no, but But Casey and I were at Bola 15. We're in line, and the Luchador car shows up, and so it has like him, Aerostar, Drago, Phoenix. They were fucking awesome. But they walk to into the arena, and Pentagon just has a towel over his head. It was the most laziest attempt.
Kayfabe and Lucha Libre is on a different level. And it's funny too because
They lose their mask every match, every babyface.
when I first met Phoenix, I was with Vinny Massaro and a couple of other Lucha Underground talent, and I was over at the hotel, and I think Urban was with me too.
Mhm.
And like I had met Phoenix before, but in mask or whatever. And it's like he's at the hotel, and I'm not gonna rush him or anything. Like I'm not that guy. I don't care. Like you're fine if I see you without your mask. There's nothing to protect kayfabe wise. Like you can do it or not do it. I don't give a shit. But literally, he walks up and we're standing there with a few wrestlers, but me and Urban are there and Vinny's there. And like, well, I guess Vinny's a wrestler, kind of. And then I got to give Vinny heat. He's coming to Cleveland this weekend, but he's bringing all this West Coast shit. He's coming to do Circle 6 again. And sadly, I don't even think I can go. I think I'm going to be out of town, but like, I want to go and cheer for Vinny, but he's bringing this fucking West Coast is the best coast shit to Cleveland, like blocks away from Little Italy. If you bring the real Italian shit, then we can cheer for you, Vinny. But no, he's going to come in here. He's going to face off against one of the 216 guys, and he's going to claim that West Coast bullshit, and he's going to get booed out of the fucking building, and I'm not going to feel bad about it. God damn it.
Bring him some pizza.
Oh, so anyway, Phoenix comes up, and then like I think he looks over and sees me and Urban there, and it's like, oh, we're not workers. So he goes to start to cover his face, and it's like, really? We're like, I'm standing here with like Taya and Mundo and Vinny and like half the cast, and really you worried about us two schmucks? Like, and there's 3 other luchadors here with no masks on? And then Phoenix got weird. Like, bro, you just walked into a hotel lobby without your mask on, and there's people standing here. Like, what if there weren't any wrestlers? Like, what the fuck does it matter, bro? I don't know. Like, and don't get me wrong, I completely respect people kayfabing certain things, and like, I'm not trying to out him or whatever. I don't care. I'm not like trying to take pictures with any of you guys. Like, you've never seen a picture of me at the hotel with any Lucha Underground talent ever. You've seen pictures of us at the temple.
Yeah.
But like when those people are on their downtime and when they're chilling, like I don't, like I'm at IHOP with Cross and Willie Mack and a bunch of like, I'm not taking photos. Like this is not photo ops. And Austin Theory was there that night, by the way, which I completely forgot about. He was like off sitting in a corner by himself with
probably on Snapchat or something
with like Selena and her broken leg at the time back when she was, oh my God, that was the funniest fucking thing. Whatever. Poor
she was. Yeah, I think I was actually at the time interested in asking you how she did at that show because she was just beginning to get on the radar or something, or she was just off of an injury at the time.
I saw her the time before when she wasn't injured, and actually she was pretty good. She can work, she can run the ropes, she can actually do some mat wrestling. She actually had a really good like ground out spot of going. She did this thing where she ran the ropes, did a duck under, came back, dropped down for the leapfrog, and then she laid out. And when the girl came back, she kind of did this pull trip thing and then went into a bunch of mat moves. That was actually really solid, and it was kind of unique. It looked like some Dean Malenko type shit. Now, don't get me wrong, not the speed or efficiency of a Dean Malenko, but it was really kind of that like transition from running the ropes into mat stuff. And then her high spot later in the match was kind of whatever, clunky, and I think it was a tag. But she was solid. Like I didn't hate on her at all. And then that next time when I saw her at Maverick, she was, I think, just coming back from an injury, and then in that match fucked it up more. Like by the time all the boys and everybody got to the IHOP or whatever, Selena was just like a hot mess. She was like, and Willie Mack referred to everyone lovingly by the N-word, and that was just absolutely the best when he's talking to Cross, and you're like sitting in between Willie Mack and a really big white guy, and Willie Mack is just repeatedly calling him the N-word and then talking about Inward Taker and all that stuff, and it was just
Inward Taker making a comeback.
Oh my god, that literally like anything could have happened that day. I could have cared less, but everything that Willie Mack did after the show to me was the most like he is just one of the most entertaining individuals on the face of the planet, and that like is really he turns down the kayfabe to get in the ring.
Yeah,
like he's just one of those people. Like who were we talking about? Holidead, just absolutely crazy-fied human being, like wonderfully entertaining. You cannot be around Holidead and not just be like, what is happening right now? Willie Mack is one of those too, like just naturally over the top, charismatic people that cannot help but to be a character all the time.
Yeah.
And more power to him. God bless him.
I wanna on the topic of Inward Taker, it is Casey's
this is a real
birthday.
thing, people. Don't at me.
Look it up. He
like,
goes
it's
by
a real
Soul
thing.
Taker.
Like
too.
I'm not. I can't even say the guy's gimmick name. That's
Yeah,
how
you can. I can.
I mean, I probably can, but only half of me can say it half of the time. So
yeah,
we'll count this as half of the time that I'm not going to say that.
but he also goes by Soul Taker, so that's like so he can sell merch to white people probably.
Yeah, look,
but
have that merch for the kids.
but but I want to say
kids.
It is the Lucha Gringo Casey's birthday, end of the month, like the 29th.
Are we celebrating
July?
his birthday 2 weeks early just in case we forget it again? Is that the plan here?
No, the plan, what I'm trying to do is like anyone who is watching, I want to put out the idea like, hey, well, you could get a cameo of someone wishing Casey happy birthday. And if you wanted to get the N-word taker to do it, I think would be a good idea that you had.
Or you can get Terry Bollea to say the N-word taker in a cameo to Casey. That is also acceptable. But only if he's in Tampa.
What's that joke that he did? Where
do I want to know?
It was something where Hulk Hogan is like talking to a therapist and he's like, I was having a tough time. What? Look inward, and he's like, that's what I was saying.
Look inward. That's what I said. Yeah, that's good stuff.
We only need the punchline on jokes. We don't need the rest of the thing.
Speaking of despicable people, I want to talk about Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
He's cool. What's he been up to lately? Why
I
are
don't
people
know.
mad
He
at
has
him?
not been in the news at all. Okay, look. So let's start with what's going on. Triple H says he's back. Stephanie's in the front office. But here's the thing. And everyone is like reveling in this like, oh, H is back stuff. No. Here's the problem, guys. The scenario is exactly reversed of when we all liked it, which was when Triple H kind of had his own sections of the product that nobody messed with. He was really putting on compelling stuff at NXT. They kind of created their own image and brand for whatever level you thought of it. It was better than now. But, you know, and for people who don't know the full story, Triple H was 100% pushed out and basically fired from NXT because they felt like his plan and his idea was not capable of beating AEW on its own, even though they were still clearly the number one brand. Like it was yanked away from him. They took away everything that Triple H was doing. And they were basically like, bro, we love what you're doing over there. And everyone says it's great, but if you can't beat AEW down off this Wednesday night thing, we're going to have to move the show to another night. And we should really reconsider what we're doing with this product because we're putting a lot of money into it. And if we can't get bigger numbers, then we can get those kind of numbers without funneling money into it. Because it is still about money at the end of the day. It wasn't anybody saying like Triple H didn't know what good TV was or that Triple H didn't know good wrestling. What they were saying is that's all well and good, but maybe that shouldn't be this product. So we're going to move you off of that. And that was kind of like, that was fine for him at the time. I think he was kind of considering, what do I do next? It wasn't like he had any heat with Vince or anything. There was no heat involved in it, but he was basically fired from his own show of like, we got to change the direction and you're doing this really well, but it's giving us, 0.3 more in the ratings and not 2 full points more in the ratings. Like it's not cost benefit analysis isn't working out, and we're
Mhm.
moving the fucking show. So let's just rebrand the whole thing and move Triple H somewhere else. So that was the first part of the story, and that bummed people out. And yeah, NXT 2.0 isn't great, but look at the numbers. They're still almost exactly what they were before. They've dropped off a little bit. That's sad because it is a clearly inferior show, and thusly it means that on a business level, a purely business level, and not coming from my personal entertainment level, it was probably the right decision. They make a much cheaper show. They build up a lot younger talent that isn't going to, try to rake the coals over their eyes for money later.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. I don't like it, but I get it at the very least. Like, Nick Khan is not a stupid guy, and I'm sure he had a lot to do with it. And we'll get to him more too, because he's in just an untenably awful position right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, also like with that, and this is kind of a hard thing to accept in general, especially when you talk about just social media or anything. It's like being told that you're not needed. It's like you're not needed as a viewer on NXT. You like the old product. They're like, that's fine. And they go, but we're going to do something else. You go, well, I won't watch. And they go, we're going to be just fine. And that is hard to deal with, and that sucks. And, I took it, and I'm sure a lot of people took it personally and held a grudge against this new cartoon Saturday morning, but sort of PG-13 version of NXT 2.0.
And it's not terrible. Like, there's some decent stuff on there. There's some
Yeah.
decent performers. Like, I'm not mad at Braun Breaker, and of course Santos is still there. And I even like some of the stuff with the mob angle and some of the talent that are there. I was a little bummed when they let Dexter Loomis go, whatever what's his real name? Why can't I? Sam.
Yeah. When he's popping up, when is he going to pop up in AEW?
I
is he
think
going to be Ring of Honor?
I think he's probably got the 90 days, doesn't he? Sam Shaw, right?
Samuel Shaw. He did some drawings for
AEW,
and
like he's good friends with friend of the show. Hold on, let me get his kayfabe name right. Tony. What the fuck's Tony's kayfabe name now? He's Danny Deals over on NWA there.
Oh,
that's my boy, Danny Deals.
Danny Deals?
Isn't that his name? Isn't that his kayfabe? I gotta look it up on fucking.
I watched
the show. Like, there's so many people. Everybody changes their name. Everybody.
I know his government name.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to say his government name either. Everybody knows he's Tony.
We should get him on the show. I think he would be able.
You want to get Danny? You want to get? He's gonna sell you some shit.
Can we get him on the show?
We can absolutely put him on the show, but you're gonna have to hide your wallet.
I already have a couple.
Byron, you are an
Punisher.
infamous money mark, and it is his job in life at smaller shows to get guys like you to spend a whole bunch of money on stuff you don't actually care about. I mean, that's his entire job in life. He's a total carny.
Then let's get him on the show. Can he do all the impersonations like Casey used to do? We need to replace Casey at some point.
I mean, yeah, probably. I mean,
can he do a Paul Heyman? Can he call you Outlaw?
No,
whoever it said.
He can't do that.
All right. Well, it's still, if he wants to come on and sell the stuff to, that's fine.
The gimmick is Danny Deals.
Danny Deals.
Yeah, it's this. This is where's my camera here?
He's got stuff going on. Yeah, look at that. What you got to be careful about his neck. You got to be gentle with him.
You have to be, man. Yeah, people don't understand that being a wrestling manager is hard on the neck, especially.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just look historically. There's historical proof there. You've poor Cornette, Bobby Heenan.
I wouldn't say poor Cornette.
I mean, these poor guys, what they go through in their necks.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my God. I'm trying to think, is there a wrestling manager that was active from 82 to 98 that was not in a neck brace at one point in time? Mr. Fuji, I think, even had one at one point in time.
Mr. Fuji. Does a honky tonk man count as a
Maybe, partially. Anyway. Yeah, we'll get him on the show at least once. We'll test him out.
Okay.
We'll put him on an episode where Meefloaf is here too and see how he fares. If he can put up with Meefloaf and his microphone and then his assassinatory commentary on everything that he doesn't like, which is pretty much anything that
everything
someone else cares about.
Australia, white people,
food, everything. Like
if there's a white wrestler, he's like, that guy sucks. He's so bland.
He is the anti far right, but he's like vehemently violent on the far left.
He's Antifa. We had Antifa on the show.
He is. Oh my God. He would probably love those guys. Maybe he's their leader.
Yeah, but he's from Falmouth, England.
He is anonymous, isn't he? It's Meefloaf.
Oh, they do sound exactly the same.
And we met him on the internet. I mean, like, ask yourself, what do we really know about Meefloaf? Actually, way too much. We know a lot about Meefloaf. It's kind of
unfortunately.
All right. So let me get to the Vince McMahon thing. First of all, let's talk. I want to talk about some of the ripples, and then we'll talk about the actual thing, because the actual thing is a little deep, but some of the ripples are obvious. First of all, storylines at WWE have been turned upside down. And again, we were talking about this Triple H thing. The difference between before and now is like the cool thing was when we had Triple H in creative and Vince in Titan Tower. Now, Vince is not really allowed anywhere near Titan Tower by his own kind of, reticence. He left and he bowed out of Titan Tower. He hasn't bowed out of WWE, obviously. He bowed out of Titan Tower, out of the corporate structure. And now Stephanie and Triple H are both in Titan Tower. They're running all the other stuff, and they're trying to be the public face of the business. And the business, so that everyone understands, Vince is on the board, and Vince controls 81% of the vote of the board. Not 51%. It's like 81%. Then the kids have a little piece here or there. There's some other board members, some other people who are big investors or whatever that.
Kevin Dunn.
We'll get to that. Well, Kevin's actually out. Kevin's been off the board for a while, which is why didn't. That's why he didn't get in trouble for the insider trading thing. He wasn't technically part of the board then. Oh. That had already happened. He cashed in. And a few of those other people have too, which is, I think, how Vince got back up to 81%. He just bought them out. Anyway, so we've had some weird things happen. Like, first of all, the Theory switch, the stuff with Theory, Cena being out of SummerSlam, and people have to understand that Cena is claiming that he's out because of insurance reasons. That's not why he's out. John Cena is out of SummerSlam because he cannot be associated with these things. He's a big star with big contracts, and he's saying that, the insurance on some of his movie things or whatever require him not to. No, he could come and not bump. He could come and do 10 million things. He could come and put a finger on Austin Theory's shoulder and he falls down.
Well, he could do the WrestleMania match that he had with Bray Wyatt.
Correct. Like, there's 10 million ways around that. So that's a nonsense excuse that is just there because basically now no one can touch Vince. And Cena also very good friends with Johnny Ace. And their public association, far more than Vince, is not a hidden thing. And if Johnny Ace is implicated in any of this stuff, that's a super bad look, because then that starts going back to when him and John Cena were hanging out, when they were going to parties, whatever. Cena can't have none of that shit rubbing off on him, regardless of whatever he did and its level of legitimacy. And from what I understand, like, he partied, but he was never like a bad boy. He didn't, go into the dark realm of things like a lot of other people. But when you're at the party, that certainly doesn't help your movie star image when you're the second biggest movie star in the world compared to The Rock, who may now also be out of WrestleMania for the same reasons.
I mean, you have the same, like, 3 pictures of insert someone, some prominent celebrity, prominent person in politics or whatever. If the picture with who owned the pedo island, hung himself in prison allegedly.
Keep going. Ghislaine's dude.
Yeah, Ghislaine's dude.
Come on, you'll think of it.
Starts with an E. Epcot.
Nah, it's not Epcot. Yeah, there you
Basically,
go.
there's the same
Wow.
like 5 pictures.
I mean,
of
Epcot might be
people.
responsible for a lot of underage kids getting touched, but it's for a completely different reason.
That's next episode. That's the next hour break.
Oh,
But you have the same. I mean, it's not like these people have a
Yeah.
ton of pictures with them, but like they have the one picture with them, and it's never going away. You're gonna see it online like every other week, So like you don't, and I'm not.
And there's always going to be that speculation then because of it.
Yeah.
And look, Cena and The Rock are guys who don't have a problem coming back to wrestling. They know what the business has done for them. They know what Vince has done for them. But at the same time, they can't be seen to be promoting his antics. And we'll get into the antics shortly. Also, this week on Raw, Titus, Global Ambassador Titus.
That was embarrassing.
All teeth, all smile. I don't think it was. Like, look, they did it in his hometown. He got a good pop for what Vince was trying to do. I feel sorry for Titus that he got put into this spokesman role of basically like they trumped it. They seriously Donald Trumped it. Like, regardless of what your opinions are on Trump, like he said that he wanted to paint the election a certain way, and he went out and did that. And that is totally what Vince is doing of like, it has nothing to do with any of his wrongdoing or whatever. And the statement that Titus made may be well and true. Where Titus comes out and he says, we don't do politics. We don't do religion. We just want you guys to come here and have a good time. Basically, this is Nick Khan moment. To Vince's bidding, but this is the Nick Khan way of doing Vince's bidding. Vince's way is to walk out there and say, welcome. Let me do the big man walk. And then
I'll be here forever.
Great food. Now, together, forever. Family, blah, blah, blah. That's Vince's approach. It's like, I'm going to put my ass on TV. I'm going to the UFC and sitting in the front row in this tiny little chair with my bad legs and my bad back. Like, that was the Vince way. This is the Nick Khan way. Like, hey, man, let's just polish it up a little bit. And Nick Khan's pissed right now. Nick Khan's furious because they are forced to go back to PG-13 ratings, maybe even go even further than that, maybe even talking about doing the third hours TV 16 or TV MA for Raw again. And honestly, at this point, that's Nick Khan being forced to stoop to AEW's level, where they're saying shit on the show. And you saw that they ran it up the flagpole. They got a shit in the week before they changed the rating on the show. And that was on purpose. That was a test balloon to see, like, does this matter? Does the audience affect? Are we going to get a bunch of emails and angry letters? Yeah. Like, do we really need to do that? And realistically, yes, because 8-year-old kids say bad words now. It's
South
not
Park.
the same. It's not the same as the 80s. Like, and honestly, they're not looked at the same way either. And what's going to happen, and what has been happening with WWE, is you have a lot of guys who are really avoiding curse words, and it looks like tough guys are avoiding curse words. Then they look like wimps. I won't say pussies because that's not politically correct. I will say they look like wimps.
Yeah, we don't need to use that kind of language.
And if you look over at AEW, yeah, there's cursing. It sometimes it's a little much, but when one of the guys says, I'm gonna stomp you with my shit kickers, or I'm gonna kick your ass, it makes a whole lot of sense. And you got like super tough guys who are supposed to be farther up the ladder over at WWE saying, I'm gonna whoop your butt. It's not, like, look, this is probably one of the good things to come out of the Vince scandal. It is, however, not part of Nick Khan's plan and this family plan show. And so you get what the Titus effect here. You have to prop up the guy to basically say, look, guys, we're going to do some things a little bit different now because we're in a kind of a spot, but also just know that we're really here at the end of the day to entertain you. And it's not about any of that political stuff. It's not about this or the other thing, because what Nick Khan is saying is, hey guys, I still need to sell this fucking joint. Pretty please don't let Vince ruin this for me. So it's mitigating some changes with other changes. Like they have to go PG-13. The Vince thing makes it kind of necessary. The AEW surging a little bit makes it kind of necessary. The stock prices make it kind of necessary. They have to do anything to get some audience reliance right now and stability. And poor Nick was so close, but now he's got to right the ship instead of raising the mast higher. He's got to just make sure the ship even has a sail.
I have a question about that because they're doing all this stuff to theoretically sell to Disney, NBC, or something like that to make it a much more valuable established content creation brand company, whatever, right? And now the brand is a liability to associate with. Again, like this is worse.
We're losing
than
advertisers right now.
This is worse than but it's not even like I wouldn't even like get into the advertiser thing yet.
It's a big deal though.
It's but like what leads to that is like your biggest stars, so that represent the brand or can give WWE the rub, The Rock and John Cena. They're backing out. They can't be seen with those three letters.
Correct.
And then who's Dave Bautista is like probably one of the other top mainstream stars, tied respectfully to WWE. He doesn't have a grudge against them. He loves them, but like he for sure is not going to put on their shirts or anything like that.
Well, and there's also people in-house that are worried about it. And some of them are probably pretty obvious. You have like your Cody Rhodes, who comes back for a big babyface run and has a certain level of integrity and everything. And now he's left a place where, whether he was liking all of the direction or not, there was a higher level of integrity on these kind of levels. And now he's found himself having given up an executive position to come to the Titan Towers people. And there's all sorts of kerfuffle up there. Luckily for him, he's on the shelf, but I gather that he's not rushing back now like he was originally trying to.
There were talks about all that, and then something came out recently where he was saying that the doctors won't tell him his timeline beforehand. Like he said, they the 9 months, that's what they think. I have my own plan, and now he's saying they won't even tell me when I'm supposed to come back because they know I'll try and jump the line.
And the reality is Cody can come back really soon. He's not going to at this point. And a lot of people aren't. I feel like the Edge promos have been extended a little further than was the original plan. I imagine Randy Orton is sitting back on his couch going, right now and biding his time. Brock's probably pissed that he agreed to come back when he did. Roman is trying to get out a little sooner here. And this is the sad part of it. Like, but there's another reason for that as well, because again, Vince is now running the book fully. We're back to people puking. They gave him his TV-14. And don't get excited about the TV-14. Like, it's not a return to the Attitude Era. It's not even a return to the Ruthless Aggression Era. It's literally just so they can say the word shit. Okay? It's flown a few times recently. They flew up the test balloon. It's literally just that, guys. It's not going to be rated R superstar crap. It's not going to be giving birth to hands. Vince may try to push some of that stuff, but that's not what's happening. So don't get your hopes up. It's literally just so they can have a teenagery level of cursing, which the example I think that was given in the meeting where they decided this, and I believe there's public board records for that particular meeting that got out because people were looking to see if there was stuff about the sexual harassment stuff in there, and there's not. But it was basically something like Stranger Things was used as an example of like, this is what kids and families watch together now. Look at the language and the content there. Like, there's nothing overtly sexual. There's plenty of violence, and there's reasonable cursing the way that people speak in normal everyday language. Like, cursing is part of our vernacular these days. And no, maybe it's still not appropriate for young kids, but at the same time, one or two of them, God, they're going to hear it everywhere. So it is almost stupid for wrestling to have to avoid them. it's not the product to avoid curse words. Like, really, if wrestling has to be that family friendly on that kind of level and totally Christian PG or G, then like you shouldn't really be watching wrestling. Like, you've misunderstood what it's about. It's about half naked men getting out their aggression on each other. Like, that's the core of wrestling. Let's be honest.
The core of wrestling is just getting way too comfortable with staring at the upper inner thigh of professional athletes. You see a lot of that.
I don't tend to notice it, though.
You don't notice it.
I wonder why you notice it, is what I'm saying.
We're used to it.
Oh,
but
we're
it's like,
used to it.
We're used to it. But when I would bring someone who's new to wrestling, I sometimes will warn them, listen, one of the things no one ever thinks about it, that you're going to have to get used to right away is you're going to look at a lot of taints. Every single pinfall, you're getting them. Every single pinfall.
Tainted love. Whoa,
you're right there.
whoa.
Someone takes a pinfall, you do a leverage, you hook the leg, you plant your feet, and you do sort of a back bridge on someone. You're airing the area between the hole and the hole, that you're sending that to like at least half the audience.
Chode, taint, grundle, underpouch. What is that?
We're used to it.
I mean, I don't know that I am.
You don't notice it because you see it so much. It's like a Tuesday evening, you know. It's like whatever. You've done this before.
All right, so let me talk about the actual scenario. Let's talk about a little bit of how corporations work. Because
I do think it's funny that you brought up Cody Rhodes jumped to WWE to be Super Hulk Hogan, 80s babyface, right? And now it's like he's like the other guy in the Epcot photo.
I mean, what I really love about the whole thing going on over there is like you're getting the Nick Khan super babyface kid shots still, while wrestlers are now trying to remind themselves to say shit, and then they cut right to one of the kid shots right after one of the shits on this first Raw with the new rating, and it was just absolutely hilarious. It's like, you guys are such a hot mess right now. Vince has so screwed you all over. All right, so let's talk about the actual Vince thing. First, I want to talk about the former wrestler. And not...
Shibata?
We can get into who the person might be and everything, and there's speculation out there, but I don't know that that's as much the important part as this, which is both an indicator of bad things and an indicator of possibly no punishment for Vince on it. The former wrestler was a talent from 2005. This performer had claimed that Vince had coerced, not forced. I have heard people say the word forced. That is not what the claim states. That is inaccurate. So don't say it, because that is legally a different legal thing that can happen to you if you say forced as opposed to coerced.
What's up, Goatsy?
Goats!
Come
on. Coerced. So this performer says that she was coerced into performing oral sex on Vince. Does not say how many times, does not say how often.
What are we talking about?
Saying they were coerced to giving Vince oral sex. Have you not read these articles? Anyway,
no, I've read them all. There's going to be a lot more coming out too, apparently.
Yeah. So this person is saying that, okay? Don't say how long that happened for, but then the claim that has come publicly that this person has made, and there were rumors of this claim back then as well, but that this person was then demoted upon not continuing to do that request for him. Basically said, no, I ain't sucking your dick no more, and was then demoted and eventually let go. Not fired, but not renewed. Basically was taken off TV, and then when the contract was up, was told to kick rocks because they weren't sucking dick. That was the claim. And those claims were around and out publicly at the time. We don't know if this person ever formally tried to accuse him or tried to go to the board then or anything of that nature, but this was a public company then. And this person did go other places afterwards, most likely. If it's any of the 3 or 4 people that are speculated, most of them went on to other things, but some of them went directly into like having kids and lives and other stuff and not trying to be in the business. The weirdest part about this is the payout of $7.5 million to this person did not happen until 2018, right before pandemic and all that stuff went down. So you have to ask yourself, what was like, you don't just randomly pay somebody off that's been out of your life for over a decade who had said some stuff about you, unless they're coming back now with evidence, or they're coming back for a paycheck, or they're trying to get back in something, somewhere, somehow, some way, or you've been fucking with them in their career in some fashion. Like, there's no way that a $7.5 million payout happens 13 years later.
Right. Also,
unless there's some new development of some kind. So like, what happened in 2018? And was that when it was brought to the board's attention, or what?
For comparison, look at what was it? There was someone got fired when they were pregnant in WWE. We know the person, but I'm blanking on the names because my brain's fried. But then someone won a wrongful termination because they were pregnant, and now you see Candice LeRae lets her contract doesn't get frozen while she's pregnant. Meanwhile, any other type of injury, WWE does not hesitate. Even like Rey Mysterio back in the day, they won't hesitate to freeze.
Well, but now there's precedence.
But they got burned on it, and so now they backed off. But there's other things. There's been like,
realistically, they don't pay these women enough money to even need to freeze their contracts because they're underpaid to begin with.
Yeah. But then there's also other issues, class action lawsuits, all sorts of things where Vince and his bulldog personality, and also his lawyer, Jerry McDevitt or whatever, like they don't back down at all. Like they don't also need to, because they're so good and so powerful at defending themselves. So like taking this huge of an L,
you gotta say, look, $7.5 million in 2018 for Vince is still not chump change. Keep in mind, he was trying to revive the XFL then. Like, he had serious stuff going on, and that may be why he wanted to clear this up. But clearly, if anybody in his camp said, yeah, Vince, cut that check, that's because there was some level of credibility that was going to damage him so severely that it was worth $7.5 million. We don't know that full story. Okay. I'll get back to this one in a minute. Now, that one's not even really the problem. The fact that he paid her off later, or the fact that this person waited 13 years to come after him, is actually not a good look for that person. Because that says, and don't get me wrong, this is also part of the victim shaming culture, but it is how things are looked at legally. It's like, honestly, it shouldn't matter. If that person decided to speak up 13 years later because that's when they had the bravery and courage to do it, then so be it. That's when it should be a thing. It shouldn't have to be the next day. The person was younger, didn't know this or the other thing, was trying to make their way in an industry, like, and went along with some shit that their boss coerced them into. You have a couple of legal issues where she still did it and wasn't forced. However, it is coercion and it is harassment to suggest at any fashion or at any point in time that someone needs to perform any way sexually for you in regards to having advancement in their job or keeping their job, which it seems like was very proven in this case was manipulated at very least by Vince. That's a no-no. We'll get into that more in a second. There is the contractor, who's, subcontractor or whatever, who received dick pics from Vince.
Mm-hmm.
This is hilarious for a couple of reasons. First of all,
God,
I got to tell you why this is hilarious, Byron. No, it's not a bad thing.
No, I'm just imagining Vince. When I think of Vince and dick pics, I think Vince taking dick pics and sending them to the boys. To sending a dick pic to John Cena while he stands next to him in Gorilla, and Cena goes, ah!
Yeah, I'm sure. and here's the thing. I'm sure it was kind of kitschy and novel to Vince. I'm sure he thought it was a big joke at the time. Keep in mind, we're talking like these things happened 2004 to 2008. These other incidents that just came out. Do you remember what kind of phone you had in 2004?
I believe I had like a Nokia. I had
Right.
the Nokia phone that everyone
Nokia
had.
block phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you know what the other big popular phone was? A Razor. I think maybe a BlackBerry or one of the early Blackberries at the time. And I was fancy. I was considered the cool fancy one.
Yeah, you had a keyboard and shit. I had the Motorola flip phone that they had in Austin Powers.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's like the Razor. That was the one right before the Razor.
Not to brag. Flip it open, you could talk on it.
Right. So guess what phone Vince had in 2004?
What?
Motorola Razor. Do you remember the pictures that those phones took? Like, who was even thinking back then? Like, I get, like, now, unsolicited dick pics is a big thing. Like, it's a thing. It's a major plague on the women of the world, especially. Like, I hear about it constantly from female coworkers and stars in my shows, and I've seen some of the disgusting shit that the beautiful women that were at the NFL would get. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I can't even I don't know how they aren't living in constant fear. They would get the creepiest, most disgusting DMs in the world. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a prude by any stretch of the imagination. Sexting and sending people pictures and this, that, and the other thing, that shit happens or whatever. The shit that I'm talking about is just pure foulness, rudeness, violence against women, nasty, fucked up shit that exists out there. People, stop. These are not your girlfriends. They're not your playthings. Like this cyber stalking weirdness. Super creepy. Vince somehow figured that out 10 years before everyone else in society. This is the amazing thing to me. And this poor idiot who you know it was exactly what you were saying. He was just like, oh my God, I've got a camera on my phone. Oh, look at my dick. Oh. Yeah. Being just one of the fucking frat boy idiots. Like, I think he thought it was a joke. I really do. And that's not to defend Vince in any way. I just think that he's one of the guys, idiot kind of people. And he stepped out of line. And I'm sure if he sent this subcontractor who was barely on the radar there, who he had met a couple times and probably thought she was cute or whatever, he decides to send her some dick pics from his shitty flip phone on a 0.2 megapixel camera or whatever we were all rocking back then. Like, I still have some pictures from my BlackBerry, and that was my third. Yeah. It was my third BlackBerry in 2006 or 7 that actually had a decent camera, and I had one of the first Samsungs that had push to talk and a good camera on it. And by good, I mean still super shitty. But anyway, like, just the audacity of doing that back then when that wasn't even a thing yet. Like, Vince McMahon may have literally been the guy to invent dick pics on your phone. That's how long ago that was. And that's how jacked up Vince is. Like, he could actually create that kind of plague on society with his shenanigans. That one, however, is a serious, serious problem. Obviously, if that kind of information is getting out in the Wall Street Journal, we're not talking about like rinky-dink dirt sheet info here. This came out in the Wall Street fucking Journal that he's sending his employees and contractors dick pics. So people always talk about, so what is the penalty for Vince? Here are the issues. Here's where the penalties come in. Here's some of the stuff I was talking about before. Losing the advertisers is a big deal because Vince controls the board of that company. They don't have enough votes outside of his vote to fire him. They cannot fire Vince in a regular board session. What they have to do is they have to find enough cause that they can call an emergency vote about him where he is not allowed to vote. There are certain things in their corporate guidelines that allow them to oust a key man. He is the key man in their key man clause.
Mm-hmm.
There's issues with that because if in his TV deals or if in other licensing deals for WWE, he's listed as the key man that they're doing business with for other companies, if the board throws him out, that could make null and void whole television contracts and contracts worth millions and billions of dollars with other people because they have fired him because the board has removed somebody who is the key man. So like, and I know a little bit from weird stuff. Like my buddy Charlie and I, when we wrote movies, we were doing it under an LLC. We had a company that was 42 or 44 something writers, comedy writers. But if me and him sold a script and we were going to be the showrunners, into our contracts was written like the key man. Like we can't tag because the contract was with the company. We can't tag out to one of our subordinates. Like we're the key man. They're basically hiring our company because of us. That's what a key man clause is. So I would not be surprised if some of these TV deals have Vince listed as in a key man clause. Mm-hmm. So that makes it even harder to fire him. Now, what they can also do with that is negotiate lower prices, lower things, make Vince have to sell the company at some point in time, ruin all of Nick Khan's work, and then NBC still picks up WWE for a 12th of its actual value, or Fox does, or Disney does. And there's more to that too. So
I would love if WWE gets bought for less than WCW.
That won't happen. Just the market change in prices, like Ring of Honor, I think cost Tony Khan more than WCW cost Vince McMahon. Anyway, the whole how do you fire the guy who runs the board thing is important. Now, the dick pics clearly is going to violate sexual harassment clauses. The former employee that those things. Maybe he has some argument to it being mutual. It might be very hard to prove. However, I feel if that person got paid $7.5 million, it's there. Like there's some kind of hard evidence of something that is not good for him. And there's also, just clauses about your public persona and image and, all sorts of that stuff that he's probably violated. That stuff is a little harder to oust a CEO and a key man and an 81% board shareholder from a company. But there are ways. And people keep saying either, no, Vince is totally going to get it because of this, that, and the other thing. Or they keep saying, no, nothing's going to happen to Vince. No, the simple fact of the matter is he could be in actual trouble, but it could also be trouble for the whole company. It is not in WWE's best interest to have to get rid of Vince. Mm-hmm. And to really do it, I think what you would see is sell-offs to other people who are already on the board. Maybe another company comes in and takes a large chunk of Vince's, but not the 51%. I think you would end up seeing Stephanie get somehow just barely 51% of the company. Like it would be so difficult. It's going to be so difficult for them to do. This is not something that is going to be resolved quickly. This is not something where you're going to wake up some morning and you're going to see WWE fires Vince McMahon or Vince McMahon gets rid of. No, this is going to be long and painful for them. And Vince knows it. And that's why he's camped out at Gorilla, writing puke stories again, doing his Vince thing and swinging his big dick around the way that he does. The talent from 2005, I think there was only we found literally the timeline they're talking about. It's like it's Jackie Gaeta or Christy Hemme, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't. And again, it's not even to out them or whatever. It's that the situation I find weird because, like, I personally, and this is just an assumption and a guess, is that it's Christy Hemme and that it was an awful situation for her, and she's still in a carny business and wants to be in a carny business and tried to figure out the best way to make it okay for herself to not completely be a victim in the situation, even though she was. And the whole thing is fucked up. Like it's not forgivable to coerce somebody into those things. And I feel like there's more stories. I feel like if that's the story of the girl that said no halfway through, how many of the stars that we know and love said yes to get their spots and just did it?
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know about that because they went along with it and they did agree and they did fall for Vince's bullshit. They were equally abused. And I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, they didn't say anything or they did it anyway. It's like, man, to a certain extent, there's survival and getting ahead and feeling coerced and that level of pressure. Like, nobody knows what kind of shoes those people were in. But I have a scary feeling that some of our favorite stars, maybe even including Lita and Trish Stratus and some of those, that were probably put in very unfortunate situations, and those are the reasons why they are some of our favorite wrestlers now, because they did Vince's bullshit. They put in all the work. They took all the crap from that misogynistic, disgusting locker room back then. They got hazed by JBL. They got sexually harassed by Vince and Johnny Ace. Like, I think that we're going to find out that it was even worse. And a lot of them just went along with it because they felt they didn't have a choice.
Well, it's not even a WWE thing. Like,
Not
that
at all.
stuff is, I mean, in the carny industry, I mean, if you go back to wrestling biographies, the earlier ones before, especially like that are well distanced from the Me Too thing, when they're funny stories, you know, you're gonna see hints, like you see hints of that in the Bret Hart book.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not great or good or anything, but it's how the business was, and it's also just kind of how.
And it wasn't just wrestling. Everybody wants to talk this stuff
Any
about
type of carny
wrestling or
business.
whatever, but Hollywood, casting couches, Harvey Weinstein's, like Harvey Weinstein is the one that got caught, guys.
Yeah.
That industry had 40 or 50 equally as powerful people in those positions since the 1940s. Like, that is not new. Harvey Weinstein is not new. He was the replacement for the other 5 perverts before him that he just did better bank business than them for a few years. And they got thrown out before they ever got caught, or before there was social media, or before there was bravery enough from people to stand up to this stuff, or feeling that it was okay, or safety enough for them to stand up to this shit. Like, maybe the performer from 2005 gets a paycheck from Vince because there's finally enough safety, or that performer feels enough safety to finally confront the motherfucker. And hopefully the fact that he's being investigated now, it's all coming out. Here's my last thing about this story, Byron.
Mm-hmm.
And this is your moment. Things that make you say, old Arsenio Hallstyle, since I'm back in Cleveland.
Okay.
These women signed NDAs. They took the money. That's not the thing I'm getting at. From what I understand, they didn't talk. They didn't talk to the Wall Street Journal. They didn't talk to the board ahead of time. Maybe they're talking now if they're being questioned, but they didn't talk before. Where's this information coming from? Makes you think a little bit. Who stands to gain from royally screwing up Vince McMahon? And this is the thing that we've talked about this story for a couple of weeks now.
So
we almost forgot our own rule, Byron. Follow the money.
Follow the money. So the whole Vince McMahon thing, big picture, its big impact is Vince McMahon being associated with WWE lowers its value. And in a separate conversation,
stock prices are down right now, and it hasn't even been decided by the board. Stock prices are way down. Advertisers are leaving.
And then it's been documented, even though a lot of people still don't pay attention to it, that there is a specific person whose sole job is to raise the value of WWE to the point where he is actually able to fire McMahons like Triple H and Stephanie.
Mm-hmm.
But not one of them.
Right. Well, and
I
here's
don't
the
know
thing.
how those two
I
are
don't
related.
think we joked that maybe it was coming from Nick Khan. I don't think it's coming from Nick Khan. I think Nick Khan is the one getting the biggest shaft here because his whole job was to help Vince find a way to dump this thing for a giant sum of money before this shit happened. And I don't think he caused it to happen. I still feel like there's several good outs for Nick Khan, and he's actually one of the people that's probably going to come out of this in a very good position when a lot of other people aren't. I think Triple H is also one of those. I believe that 4 years from now, we will see Triple H running the creative of WWE fully, completely across the board.
Triple H or Jeff Jarrett?
Triple H. I think it's going to actually be Triple H because of this. Before all of this went this way, I would have actually said Jeff Jarrett. But Jeff's in a good spot too, which is amazing to me. So here's the thing. The people that actually stand to gain from this happening, Tony Khan, but even if Tony Khan had access to this information, he's just not that guy. He's a fan at the end of the day. He cares way too much about the entire business, even to his own detriment at times. Don't think it's Tony Khan. Fox and NBC, however, is a different story. Maybe even Discovery Warner, who owns basically AEW or the TV rights there too, even though Tony actually owns it, but they have the TV rights. I could see if they had this information, it's not even really necessarily corporate espionage, but also you got to think to yourself, who of these people would be talking to the Wall Street Journal? Think bigger conservative corporations. Those are the kind of people that have regular connections with the Wall Street Journals of the world that cause exposés and other boards of other companies to have to do things to, and this is normal corporate stuff, guys. You devalue a company that you want to take. Even if they're not really your competition, even if you might be damaging a product that you're going to get later. Like if somebody manages to buy WWE for $12 million or something ridiculous and not even like the 12 billion or something that it should be worth, like that's a full coup, and you can afford for it to be a crappier product when you take it over because you got it for pennies on the dollar and anything you get out of it is huge.
Yeah.
And the reason why now and not before is this. WWE on Peacock worked. It saved Peacock. It also saved WWE Network. It was one of the most mutually beneficial things that happened in the streaming market, period. ESPN is also experiencing the same kind of success with the UFC, to the point where UFC is now mad at ESPN and Disney because they're jacking the prices on pay-per-views because literally they know they can get it. That core buy rate audience for UFC is not going anywhere. And then you get the transient fans that come in for one or two of the bigger events, just like you do for WrestleMania every year. The Peacock model is even better though, because when those people show up for WrestleMania, they end up staying way too long every time by accident. Those old deals that WWE Network used to do were brilliant. They'd be like, we'll give you enough to get 2 pay-per-views. Like, we'll give you 34 days of free WWE right around WrestleMania. And then what happens is literally they've given away their biggest moneymaker for the year. And then you get Backlash for free, or you get the one right before it for free, depending on when you signed up. You got 2 pay-per-views for free. Nobody remembered to cancel when that first bill came. They always got at least 1 or 2 months out of those people, and it made up for it because basically all these transient viewers that only watch 1 or 2 big events a year are coming in. And also it's one of the reasons why they made sure to keep Royal Rumble and WrestleMania spread out, because there was a few years where they were very close, where WrestleMania was the very next pay-per-view from Royal Rumble, and they stopped doing that. They put another one in between to try to string people into getting the package for Royal Rumble and then sticking for WrestleMania, and by the time that happens, you forget to cancel. That all was a product of network, and Peacock benefited from all of that shit coming in. So maybe Peacock or in Universal NBC is willing to devalue WWE enough because, look, Vince screwed them over. they lost SmackDown and SmackDown went to Fox. Vince got a huge deal for it that USA and NBC Universal could never have paid for SmackDown. It was not in the budget. Fox overpaid for SmackDown. And they're happy to have done it because those numbers are plenty good for what they want. It's better than anything else they put in that slot forever, even though they're overpaying for it. So this is big boy ball here. This is big boy stuff. Like, somebody out there is legit fucking with Vince, legit coming after Vince.
Mm-hmm.
It is for the purpose of taking his entire company and doing it for pennies on the dollar. It is to thwart the plans of Vince McMahon and Nick Khan that they were actually doing pretty well with. And we were keeping Vince away from story stuff. And other than the unfortunate firing of, well, everybody we like, other than that part and losing NXT, a lot of the products gotten better. I don't hate a lot of Nick Khan's changes. I hate Vince changing a lot of the shit back now to late Attitude Era nonsense because he's fucking bored, because he can't go count his money up in Titan Tower. He's down in the trenches, and God bless Max Dupree. I'm sorry, Max Dupree. God bless him.
L.A. Knight.
Yeah. Eli Pre.
We were talking about that because the video game recently came out with the 2K22 extension with LA Knight. I still want to call him
Knight.
Eli Drake.
Drake.
Right? But like Max Dupree, does he do Max Dupree?
No, he goes Max Dupree. Because it's not Max Dupree, it's Max Dupree. It goes up, Byron. Say it right. Don't get it wrong.
I don't want to. Dupree.
Wow. You'll get there. Anyway,
thought,
like, the poor guy, he gets called up, and then all this goes down. Like, what is your life like when you are a comedy heel, even though he's like super straight man when he does his comedy heel stuff?
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Like, he plays it totally straight. But you get brought up, and it's like the day that Vince is sitting in Gorilla with the book. And like, Vince was always there for approvals and whatnot, but no. Vince has nothing else to do now, guys. I don't think people understand. Yes, Vince was final say in booking always, especially for Raw. Like, he gave up SmackDown to some other people. Heyman did it for a while, a few other people, whatever. Always been the guy for Raw. Now he's doing all of them, all the shows, and it's his book to the point where, like, you open the book and it's Vince's handwriting. It's not a check mark next to somebody else's idea. Guys, Vince is doing this shit. You're LA Knight, Eli Drake, whatever. You've done this program with $1 Million Man and Cameron Grimes, and like everything, your NXT run went swimmingly. It did good numbers. People were watching. Everybody in-house loved it. Your in-ring work was good. Everybody liked your work rate. It fits WWE style perfectly. You're jacked. You're coming out of the PC. You had some time to work on the muscles. Like, you're feeling good. You get up to the big show, and Vince is standing there, and he's like, "You're gonna be a male model." No, it's just not just that. You're gonna bring all the male models. Oh, God bless Max Dupree. That motherfucker just ran with it. He just was like, "All right, cool. I'm the male model guy. Whatever. I'll get heel heat for that." Just selling the shit out of the worst stuff ever. This is like way past Fandango level stuff on day one. Like, every bad thing Dolph Ziggler ever had to do, this is all of that rolled into one thing. All the reasons Jon Moxley left WWE are Max Dupree's to own for the entirety of his career now. And dude is just like, cool, I got this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's going to be what Jeff Jarrett was in that pre-Slapnuts run with China. Like, all that stuff you saw on the him doing the Stone Cold thing or whatever, that's him. Except even better, because he's not getting fazed by it like Jeff was. He's not getting paranoid. He's not running for the hills. He's just like, yeah, fuck it, I got this. and he's popping numbers. His quarter hour numbers for his segments are through the roof. It's amazing. Like I've said it for a million years. Like I don't know anything about this guy. We've been in the same place at the same time. I know a lot of his friends. Apparently, he's just pretty chill dude. Like he doesn't play a lot of politics. You know, he says when he wants an angle to be a little bit better. Like he speaks up, but he doesn't bitch or complain. Like he just does the work. Nobody really knows if he's a complete D-bag or if he's actually a nice guy. Like he just kind of does his own thing. Nobody knows shit about Eli Drake for some reason. I have asked did we ask Cross on the show or somebody? Like we've asked all about Eli Drake. There's not a whole lot to know.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got some skeletons in his closet. Maybe he's, I don't know, some weird pedo, or maybe he's like some super worker and with the highest work rate ever. And we just haven't seen it yet. Like maybe he's the next Kenny Omega. I don't know. All I know is the guy can come out, he can cut a hot promo in a room, cold room with no storyline. You give him anything, and the crowd will react.
Yeah.
Fucking money. Like, God bless that dude. I hate his gimmick. Doesn't matter. I will watch it now. Just to see, like, can this dude really pull off this shitty, horrible gimmick and be given like at least now he's got a stable. Like who gets to come in and get a stable? He's got guys. They're models, but he's got guys. And it's not even bad that they're models. Like they look like wrestlers, man. They look chiseled. They look the part. That was every guy when we were growing up watching wrestling. That was Rick Rude. That was Lex Luger. That was all these dudes.
Careful about Lex Luger.
Oh, you know.
Talking about him because he killed him.
Yeah, people. I'm sorry. I ignore that I said Lex Luger. Chris Benoit, like he was cut.
By the way,
I mean, these guys look like Jimmy Superfly Snuka. They're so chill. Is this getting worse?
How many people have you seen on Twitter made the "Who's Ric Flair's last opponent" joke of choosing Chris Benoit?
Wow.
I've seen it too many times.
Talk about corpsing. No, but so who is Ric Flair's last opponent?
It's going to be a tag match. I mean,
his real last opponent is Jeff Jarrett.
His last opponent's Dignity.
Wow.
No, he lost that a long time ago. But he's trying to die in the ring. I think
speaking of the 2004, 2005 Attitude Era, I remember the last time that Ric Flair successfully pulled off a turnbuckle flip. Was about the time. That is almost 18 years ago now, Byron.
Did he? I remember the last WCW match, and he botched it. Did he?
No, he did it. He came into WWE and did it a couple times successfully. Then he started failing on it regularly. Then he modified it to be kind of a different thing.
Yeah.
And then it just went away altogether towards the end of that run, which was by 2006 or 7.
I don't remember the year.
Was it even that late?
We all remember the moment, though. We all remember the "I'm sorry, I love you" super kick.
Oh God, bless America!
And then after that, he bled on TNA for like a few years, every week.
I mean, I love that he's got Andrade being his little Triple H, like his little protege, his son-in-law. That's nice. It feels like a wrestling family. Like I didn't even get the connection at first. I'm like, why is he teaming with Andrade? And then I was like, oh, wait, that's his fucking son-in-law.
That's his son-in-law.
That was the first time in my mind, even though I know Andrade and Charlotte are together, that was the first time in my mind I had ever put Ric Flair and Andrade even in the same room mentally.
Yeah.
But that's his son-in-law.
It's funny. It's funny to also think that that's the work rate part of the match, Andrade and Jay Lethal. But, like, Andrade's up for that. He's not going to do shit.
I mean,
for that match. Let's be real.
I'm almost more interested in the rest of the card. Like, I think that there's some interesting things going on there.
Yeah, there's a ton of great stuff. And what's being overlooked is like how Forbidden Door the rest of the card is.
Yeah,
like all these different promotions. Sorry.
Here's the thing I love about Lucha Libre. I teased that I was going to talk about this tonight. The thing I love about Lucha Libre is Conan has been saying everywhere on Twitter, Facebook, on his show, other people's shows, that the Triple A match is going to be fire. And the way that he says it, he's like, the Triple A match on the Ric Flair's last match card is going to be fire.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, he's right. And there's only one reason that you know that. It's because Lucha Libre is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Because anybody else who would say that would have to know what the layout was going to be, what the finish was going to be, who was going to go over this, that, and the other thing. You got Rey Fenix, Taurus, Laredo Kid, and Bandito. No, you do not have to know what the finish is going to be to know it's going to be fire. No, you do not have to know what the match layout is going to be. And honestly, they don't know. Those four fuckers are not going to even chat in the locker room. They're going to look at each other and be like, oh, hey, you made it. Cool. I'll see you in the ring. And that's the layout.
The finish doesn't even, like, a lot of, like, if there's no big angle, the finish almost doesn't even matter in a Lucha Libre match because you're there to see. It's like Conan said in our interview, which you should go back and watch. People want to watch a video game, and that's the appeal. That's why you go and you see them do all their moves. I mean, I've seen so many Vikingo highlights online. Never seen a finish of his match online. I just see all of the insane gravity doesn't apply to this guy stuff.
And he's the one guy they left out of this match. But I love the fact too that like Conan was very serious about it, and he's dead right. And he told those dudes, like, hey man, I want to send you guys up to Ric Flair's last match. You guys make a little bit of money. You guys have your visas in order. So go up there and like do right by my dude. And that was what made Conan know that he was going to get a great match. You know what I'm saying? Because he sent the right four guys and just said, do right by my guy.
Yeah.
Like, and look, there's other interesting stuff there. Like Josh Alexander and Jacob Fatu, those guys are going to go. Like Fatu has been on a tear on the indies, just destroying people. And Josh Alexander now is the Impact champ. And like, I thought that was a bad call, but also work rate, fucking ridiculous.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Isn't Fatu MLW? Or is he doing Impact tapings?
I think he might be doing that. The MLW match on the card is actually Happy Birthday, Killer Cross with Scarlett. They're not forcing him to leave Scarlett at home. That's very nice of them because I hear that she's a good roadside companion for him. Probably because she doesn't let him get ripped off on merch anymore. I swear to God, I bought a shirt from Cross for $10 once and it was supposed to be $20, and he never noticed I handed him a 10 instead of a 20. I feel so bad, Kevin. Please don't kill me. But you know who he's facing? Do you know who he's facing, Byron?
Who is he facing?
Our modern day hero, Davey Boy Smith Jr. Kev, I know. I hate to bag on your boy. I know you and Davey are friends. I know you guys are buds. And I hate to say it. Davey bores the shit out of me sometimes. Like, please, God, lead him to. Like, I'm so stoked that Cross is on this card. I'm so not stoked to see that it was Davey Boy. Like, I've seen him go with Fatu recently. It was great. You know, like, there's other guys that just would be amazing. Even Hammerstone. Like, why not? Why isn't Hammerstone going to fight?
A different match, maybe.
Is he in another match? I don't even know if he's on the card.
What are you gonna do? The Davey Boy Smith Jr.
Look, Davey can work. He doesn't do anything wrong. I just don't get up for Davey Boy. Like, I don't get excited about it. Like, I know what he's gonna do. It's like Gotch wrestles the same style, but I like him 7 million times more. There's something more charismatic about him. I like the ring presence. I like the presentation better. Like, I'm not mad at Davey Boy, and I don't want to hate on.
No, and I want him to be able to pay his rent, make a living. But yeah, it's just there's something missing. Like back when Cross, before he signed, and he was doing that short MLW run, and he was in some sort of program with Davey Boy, and him and some other people were going up against Filthy Tom Lawler's Island or whatever.
Right.
And they do a promo, and like Davey Boy Jr., Harry Smith would just do a promo, and it's like he's like
it's all
in
like
his head.
Guy,
it's like I'm a tough
stuff.
guy doing a tough guy stuff, but like you listen to what he's saying, you're watching, you're like, He's not saying anything. Nothing's going on here. I don't buy it.
Yeah,
Which
at
is
best, it's a promo from a Mid-South afternoon TV taping circa 1986. Like, it's
without the
without the fire
raging
and the
steroids and cocaine.
right, exactly. Without all the stuff that made Mid-South great in the 80s.
I think
Anyway.
Casey sent me this old Sting promo back. It was like JR interviewing him too, but when Sting was still a kid, and he said something along the lines of like, "I can feel my teeth" or something. It's like, dude,
Like, way to put
Settle
that,
down.
way to nail that right on the head. What else is going on at that? Oh, Rachel Ellering, Deanna Purrazzo, and industry pariah Jordan Grace. Good Lord, she pissed off all the old timers with some of her comments recently.
She said something dumb. She did a
She
dumb
did.
clickbait thing or engagement, whatever thing. Because these kids are like, what can I do to like get a bunch of people to reply? And like you'll ask a question or you'll know a question.
And what was her thing? She said that like
Her thing
all the
was-
current workers are better than Chris Benoit or something.
He's like she said Benoit wouldn't be able to hang with the wrestlers of today, but he couldn't memorize a match of that concussed brain of his. Also, he's a piece of shit or something.
Right.
Blah blah blah. And it's like none of that has to be said. No one ever has to acknowledge that you ever said that. And then it was a whole bunch of just like if there are real people, there's nothing really worthwhile in the conversation at all to begin with. So like his name gets brought up, and there's a bunch of people that were related to the incident that now have to like deal with all that shit again.
Well, well, first of all, it's that, but also it was tone deaf in the fact that she doesn't understand that, okay, yeah, your immediate sphere of the industry hasn't worked with him, but even like, Motor City Machine Guns guys, like guys from that era, Chris was still around then. And when you start discounting his work rate and his match ability, you're now insulting all of the other people that he worked with who are mostly still in the business and, by the way, running half of it.
Yeah, Conan even said something about
how I'm sure he was pissed. I'm like, why? Like, that's an insult to those guys that worked with him before the bad shit. Like, I'm not discounting the bad shit. I'm saying that the guy you cannot take away the fact that the guy had, leading up to those things, a career. And in that career, he worked with those other guys and they put on big matches that drew numbers, drew bodies. Thank you for the house, put asses in seats, sold t-shirts, sold pay-per-views. He was a part of that with those guys. Mm-hmm. Yes, it ended horribly. Yes, his issues may have very well been CTE related, and there's a bigger thing to be discussed there. But also, because he went psycho and killed his family, like, you can blame that on him if you want. I'm not taking that away from anybody. If you want to call Chris Benoit a piece of shit, by all means, go for it. Not a problem. But also, please look at the fact that, just hypothetically, think about this for a moment. What if Chris Benoit wasn't a piece of shit and the business that he was in caused him to be a piece of shit by literally smashing parts of his brain? Like, there's a bigger issue here. And Jordan, if you're not prepared to take on bigger topics that are on that level, like, the NFL's been dealing with that kind of subject matter for 23 years now, unsuccessfully. It's a hard conversation to have, even for fans. Like, we love this stuff. We love watching these performers go in there, yourself included, Jordan. We love watching you guys go in there, but what you do is hard on the body, and maybe it's hard on the brain. And God damn it, how awful is it for all of us if that dude killed his whole family because of trying to put on a show for all of us and bashing his head in with those diving fucking headbutts?
Yeah.
Like, what if it's all of our fault? I watched it. I loved those matches. I cheered for him every time he did that damn move. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe it's your fault, Jordan Grace, when you cheered him on and you got into the business and you took the money and the paychecks that are out there now. Maybe we're all responsible and you shouldn't talk shit. Maybe you shouldn't cast stones because maybe it's your fucking fault too.
I also think there's just a lot that's a real heavy thing to consider. There's a lot going on that we may never actually really figure out or know.
Right, which is why, like, if you make such a definitive statement,
well,
I think people are going to shit on you about the part that they do know, and the part that we do know is that Chris Benoit worked really hard with a lot of these people that are still in the business. As much as he might be a heel now, he was a friend of theirs and a co-worker of theirs, and he still has professional respect on that level. And if you're saying that his work was shitty, which it wasn't, then you're saying that those people's work and their contribution was shitty too.
Yeah. And to that point, I think that, she's losing on two big accounts there where she is trying to use this tragedy that impacted severely, family. And then also it impacted the entire industry.
But not even her generation. How old is Jordan Grace?
But this whole thing can't be taken lightly, and she's flippantly using it for an engagement tweet, right?
I mean, I don't know if she was flippantly using it. She sounded pretty.
She was using it it was an engagement tweet. She wanted people to reply one way or the other, and then you argue with them, and then you get engagement numbers. You get better in the algorithm, and this and that. And on top of that, she was also completely wrong and embarrassed herself about it. Like, she just came across as an idiot twice over to me. And then, she spoke to someone, probably Jericho, and now she has to pay $5,000 to a charity. Like, it cost her, that tweet cost her $5,000.
Right. Like, she was born in 1996. Chris Benoit was already in WCW in 96, wasn't he?
Yeah, no, he was the NWO and all that stuff was like 99-ish, 99.
Okay, so it was a little later than that.
But
literally, like, when this guy first started to get big, she was
06?
No,
96.
She was born in 96. So she's 26 years old right now.
So he was WCW doing that, and then I mean, she probably would know.
I mean, like, so not even close to her era. You know what I'm saying? It's like, are you speaking for your generation? What is the point that you're trying to say? Like, because for my generation, for people that are around Chris Benoit's, age, Chris Benoit was what, 6-7 years older than I am.
Like mid-40s. He was in what, early 40s when he?
Yeah, I mean, he would be 53 right now. Yeah.
Okay.
He would be 53 right now. I think Eddie would be in that range, like all these guys. Yeah. Like, those are the guys that, like, they're my age. I mean, those guys are a little older, but like Rey Mysterio is my age.
Mm-hmm.
And, I just it was just so short-sighted. I don't see what the hell she was getting out of it. Like,
it's like saying Lee Harvey Oswald was a bad chef if you're a cooking Twitter personality.
Right.
It's like
screw you. Anyway, Jordan, that was a mistake. I don't hate on you. Like, your work's been decent recently, and you've moved up in the world, like, but also I'd like to see you keep going, not have to be stuck in Impact for the rest of your career. I actually think you'd probably be pretty good at WWE, not AEW, by the way. And I'd love to see her get there. And this isn't the way to do those kind of things. Because look, all those agents and everybody who's running everything backstage on the day-to-day, the people that protect you, the people that are going to get you somewhere in your career, and even probably backstage at Impact, are his contemporaries and are not going to like that you have spoken out of turn.
Anyway, I mean, you can't. It's just, she's a fucking idiot.
I want to talk about another one. I want to talk about another one, Byron. I got another one.
What's that?
I got another couple.
Yeah.
And this is funny too, because normally I'm like knee deep in the shows and I have notes on stuff on all the shows, but I don't even care because there's so much other interesting stuff going on. First I want to talk about MJF.
Who?
Exactly. What a fucking bust. This has real heat with me. I don't care if it's a shoot or a work. I really don't. And honestly, at this point in time, like, look, Tony, you've done a great job of confusing people. Here's why I think it's still 100% a shoot. It gets brought up at press conferences. The only real questions he actually gets, by the way. And what is Tony's response? I'm not going to comment on that.
Not going to comment.
If there was really something going on, we've seen Tony in that position before. What would Tony actually say? Tony would say, yeah, no, guys, we're totally working it out, man. We're going to work things out. Like, we're talking, we're having some conversations. I'll keep you guys posted on what's going on. Like,
that's
Tony,
even how he tried to work Orange
would do
Cassidy's theme. Cassidy's theme. He was working everyone, trying to get the signatures, blah, blah, blah. He was just going to debut it when he wanted to debut it.
Right. And this is how he answers questions.
Yeah.
The fact that he's saying he won't answer is like, come on, Tony. You've never been scripted a day in your life. Do you think we know the one time that you say something when it's scripted? Come on. It's going to be the one thing that sounds 150 million% out of character for you. You're blabbermouth Adderall freak that wants to tell the world everything, and we love you for it. Yes. But also, if you really want to work this shoot into making us think it's a shoot, you have to make it sound like it's a shoot. Like, yeah, I don't know, MJF, he had the mic and maybe he shouldn't have, like, look, we'll work some stuff out. I'll do some stuff. I'll talk to him. Like, that's what Tony should be doing. And if he did that and we still didn't see MJF on TV, I'd be like, oh shit, they talked and it didn't go well. What is happening? Oh my God. So I have heard a couple things that, like, MJF is actually legit nursing an injury. They had not planned on playing the story out this way, but then that they wanted to just give him some time. So they decided to play the angle out this way and actually take him off of TV. It seems really suspicious that a lot of the old timers with podcasts, and when I say old timers, I'm talking about old timers that don't really agree with each other ever. Yeah. Like Russo and Cornette and Conan and Booker T, like pretty much all on their podcasts. The week and a half or 2 weeks before it happened, we're all like, nah, this is some bullshit. Like, if he really had a hot mic and said those kind of things, whatever, you take that guy off TV. Literally all of them said that. And guess what? They're right. So what does Tony do? That's the story. We know Tony listens to the internet. We know he listens to people's podcasts. Like, he has his ear to the ground and he at least listens to what they're saying. And pretty much across the board, all these podcasting wrestling people who never agree about anything all said if MJF was really doing all that stuff or threatening to not show at the pay-per-view or getting a hot mic and really dropping real pipe bombs and shoot interviews in the middle of the ring when network executives were there and company owners.
Yeah, then that wasn't just any episode of Dynamite either. Like, the fact that, like you said, all those people were in attendance.
Okay, and then here's where we get back to, what if it really is a shoot? From everything I've heard, the new Warner Discovery loves AEW. They like the sports programming. They were on board with the MJF stuff or whatever that meant at the time, that they're talking to Tony about how to possibly integrate AEW products into HBO Max when that comes through. Zaslav has already put out a timeline for it. He's the new guy who owned Discovery, who basically owns everything that AOL used to own plus Discovery, which is all of Warner Brothers, DC, HBO, Cinemax, TNT, Turner Networks, CNN, all the Discovery networks, Food Network, Cooking Channel, DIY, Home, fucking Discovery, TLC, Oprah. I mean, Discovery before the merger owned 31% of everything you saw on basic cable. Now what is it? 48% of everything on cable? Nearly almost half they control of what you see on basic cable.
Yeah.
And HBO Max and HBO now and Cinemax. Jesus Christ. Like, that's a fucking coup. Anyway, there's no sign out there from anyone in Discovery Warner corporate or anyone at Discovery having an issue with the MJF thing. And that's not the kind of thing that would just stay one-on-one between Tony and the company. Like there's shareholders and boards and other people, and that kind of information gets out. Like when they're not happy with a product, especially something that happens live on the air, that shit is news. It gets out. There's none of that, which makes me think that it's shoot or work rather. And that they were on board with it from the get-go. And that really maybe this whole thing just times out. Regardless, though, it's a huge backfire to cool this story. And AEW keeps doing this shit. Like, even when they do the thing that we want them to do, they do the right thing. Like, take Wardlow, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we said for months that Wardlow had to get into the TV title picture, that the breakout thing was working fine, the fake Goldberg thing was okay.
Mm-hmm.
But then they fucked it up and cooled it with this holdover
Smart Mark thing.
Smart Mark segment. And there's nothing wrong with Smart Mark. You know, I don't mind him at all. And I also don't mind the principle of what AEW is. Like, AEW is all friends wrestling. Like, if you're going to start a company, like people forget where AEW came from, man. It came from a bunch of dudes who were like, hey, Dave Meltzer or whoever, we bet you that with just our buddies who are so cool in this wrestling game, we can put 14,000 people in the United Center, wherever the fuck it was. That's the principle for their company. And when they start the company, everyone's like, oh, this is going to be awesome because all these dudes are so cool. And then like, here it is 3 or 4 years later, and you're mad when they put themselves and their friends over.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is going to start a wrestling company and not put themselves or their friends over? That is the point. My issue with them isn't if they put over Orange Cassidy or TJ Marshall, which is not nearly as cool as Max Dupree. I don't mind them doing that. Oh, what is oh wait, his shoot name's on here. Oh yeah, Cross is saying he's got to come on the show. Now he tells me I'm done with the show. Like, you're not coming on tonight, buddy. Catch me next week, Cross. No.
He's
not. No, he's just saying that he wants to come on at some point in time because I texted him happy birthday. And
I texted him earlier today. Hey, do you want to come on tonight?
Oh, like, dude, he's just not on our time schedule. He's not. We're gonna have to go out of our way to get him on the show. He's gonna want to do it like 2:00 on a Thursday.
He had time to send me a meme of how much he wanted to murder me. But
Cross, put on some clothes, bro. I like your Instagram. I don't want to block you. Put on a shirt.
I don't know if he has any shirts that fit him anymore. The boy is swole right
dude
now.
Is jacked right now. He needs to be one of Max Dupree's male models with the hair and all that and the stuff.
They need to have a match. That'd
be the big comeback. No, he should work for him and then turn on him. Cross is a heel, damn it. He's a heel. As much as I want to cheer for him, he's a heel.
He's a son of a bitch.
All right, so anyway, the MJF thing with the Wardlow thing, I'm like, in All Friends Wrestling, I get it. I don't mind a slow build. I don't mind pausing something, but keep the story. Like, we've got the All Friends Wrestling thing, but it can't just be the Young Bucks randomly having the titles. What is the Young Bucks story right now?
I mean,
what is Orange Cassidy's story? Why do I care about these people? Like, Wardlow had a story.
Yeah.
It fucked it up for a beat. And then by the time he got the TV title, it wasn't as big as it should have been. And even if the matches in between there had just been some other kinds of squash matches with dudes feeding and him doing all the power bombs and not the hokey security gimmick people's court thing, it wouldn't have cooled him. It would have been fine. Yeah. And now we've got this thing where MJF turned into the biggest thing in the world. Here's my issue. If he's legit hurt, just tell me. Because if you took him off of TV when he's popping numbers like that, I don't care what he's saying. Even if you're trying to body check him and put him in his place, don't hurt your show to do it. Like, put the kid out there, give him something else, dock him money, fine him, whatever. If it was really a work, maybe cool him off of TV for a week or two and just let him know, like, you can't grab my hot mic and go ham like that, bro. Sorry, you're off TV next week. Like, and give him a little slap on the wrist. But it's been over a month now. Like, you lost the hottest angle in wrestling, and now it's Christian Cage. What? Really? That was the choice that you made. And don't get me wrong, Christian's doing a great job being the top heel, mouthpiece wise, and more power to him. And he's capitalizing on the fact that MJF is not in his face. But it's just like, why did we take him off of TV for a month? If it's a work, then just let it work. And people know it's like everyone knew the CM Punk pipe bomb stuff was, as he continued it, was approved. Of like whether or not the very first CM Punk pipe bomb was a shoot or work, people still debate it all day long. But the simple fact of the matter was WWE made the right choice, which is, we're going to fuck this guy over eventually. But that dumb shit that he did actually worked. So let's put him on TV again and let him do it some more. Like, let's just make it part of his gimmick. People seem to be responding. That's good business. It's wrestling. It's a carnival. Like, if the Daredevil all of a sudden decides to drive his motorcycle on the tightrope and that wasn't the plan, you smack him on the wrist because he did something dumb that almost died. And also you make him do it every friggin' night because now that's the new big stunt.
And now he can make you money.
He can make you money. And if he falls to his death, so be it. That was his dumbass fault for choosing to do it. Oh, bad association with wrestling. Sorry, Owen.
For the
God
thing.
rest, please. Anyway,
but it's such a weird thing because now AEW is a company that doesn't have MJF in it. That's essentially what it is now. But also, like, the storytelling with Tony Khan and AEW with the roster they have is you have things come and go. You have Roosh showing up.
Transient.
Roosh shows up and then he disappears for a while and then they do some stuff and then it goes away. And I get, like, with Lucha Underground, we saw a lot of that with their episodic programming where, like, you'll do your story and 2 episodes later you're doing it. But, like, that's more of like a big episodic thing.
I don't even have a problem with that. I don't have the problem with like, I had a problem with the one Rampage that was Rampage of Honor. That was just like, I get it. And you don't have a place for these guys, but why did you make the whole show that? Why are you hot-shotting your pay-per-view all at once now? Put one of these matches on Dynamite, put one of them on Rampage, like, keep the thing going. I know you got to sell a Ring of Honor pay-per-view. I'm fine with that. Give me stories, build the shit, stop hot-shotting and then dumping. Hot shot, dumping, hot shot, dumping. This is not the way to get your friends over. Like, if it is your friends that are going to be all the top guys and all these WWE people or other people are coming in, I'm fine with that. But give them storylines. Let them do the work. Do what you did with Britt Baker when she was doing her dental show thing when you guys were in the quarantine. Just let it build. Do it every week. Keep it going. Build some stories. Find the thing that pops, which was Thunder Rosa. Like, they tried a few things for Britt. They had time to, but they kept her story going. Pick those people. I don't care if everyone else gets burned at this point. Like, I don't even care if my favorites get burned. They're all getting burned as it is right now. Okay, you've ruined Penta and Phoenix. Don't care anymore. Fine. You're paying Pac. Pac's still got like the 3rd highest salary in the whole fucking company somehow, which makes no sense. So why are you using him like shit though? Like, let him have some actual stories, not just be a tough guy that comes out and kills people.
No, Pac has a thing going on right now. He's as of
this Wednesday, as of this week, he has a thing going on.
But, like, they're making use of his situation and he's working overseas defending the belt, being an AEW representative.
Right.
And then they'll take those matches and put them on Dark.
That's not a story. That's a series of matches.
Yeah.
And I get it. But, like, okay, let me put it to you this way. There was a match on Raw this week. It was the match of the week. It was Seth Rollins versus Ezekiel. Seth Rollins lost 3 times in a row at pay-per-views to Cody Rhodes. and did not lose any of his heat. And he's possibly a bigger star now. And you ask yourself, why? Why? Because they're talking about Money in the Bank right now. And when you talk about Money in the Bank, you can talk about Seth Rollins with one of the best cash-ins in history. One that pissed everyone off at the time.
I loved
it.
it.
WWE built that slow and long. And then they did all sorts of other slow, methodical, and smart things with Seth Rollins over the years. In and out of the Shield, changing characters, just did stuff with him for a long, long time. And every one of his feuds had a long build, usually multiple pay-per-view cycles. And yeah, he had some duds. The weird Messiah thing with the Mysterios and this and the other thing wasn't great, but it went long. It was several pay-per-view cycles. It was with Seth and Ray, and then it was with Dom and, Seth's proteges or whatever was going on. And then the daughter, like, that's a storyline. So now you get to the point where it's like, yeah, Seth, you and Cody are going to have some great matches, but you're going to job to him 3 consecutive times. Didn't hurt him at all. Cody's gone, got the one up on him. The story is not left with Seth being the victor, even though he supposedly took Cody out with his arm. Then he goes into a match against Ezekiel, whose win-loss record is horrible. I mean, he's really the jobber, even though the guy looks like $1 million right now. Like, never looked that good as Elias. Doing great stuff. His storyline's been going on with KO forever. Even KO's going into another storyline and still referencing that storyline. I know people think some of it's childish and asinine, and you might think that the actual content of those storylines is bad, and maybe it is. But the commitment and the way that it's told to you, and the fact that one of their normal wrestling spots this week was just a backstory package of Bianca and Big Time Bex. Like, there's reasons why their shit works. And I know that they have a 3-hour show to fill, and AEW only has 3 hours for the whole week with a roster that's twice the size of all of WWE. I get it. That is part of the problem. But honestly, when I saw that match, Seth and Ezekiel go in there, they went 3 commercial breaks. So this is what, a 15 or 20 minute match. They were basically filling a huge amount of time.
Yeah.
Really long match. Did not feel long. The work rate was phenomenal. The move sets, both of those guys. Like, honest to God, Ezekiel looks like Kenny Omega did 3-4 years ago.
Kenny Omega is coming back, by the way.
Great. Yeah, I saw that. We'll see.
And that's like a big AEW storyline.
It's huge. We've been waiting for it forever.
There's been a few things that have been like on hold because of injuries, and like
a few hundred things, and they got lucky that they were able to basically continue D-Bry's thing with Cesaro just walking right into it, which was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Claudio. I can't say
Claudio.
You have to say it like Schwarzenegger. Claudio.
Imagine BC.
Claudio Castagnoli.
Imagine VCC having AW champ and Ring of Honor champ. But also, I think it is interesting that Tony recently tweeted something or said something and kept referencing it, Punk as the champ, their champ, even though Mox is their interim champ.
Yeah, it's a funny situation. It's like, look, you guys are basing this on the Dana White thing. You guys should actually go and take some notes from Dana White, because Dana White is very careful to treat his interim champions like they are the champion until the other guy can show up again. Like, for as long as the other guy's off the map, the other guy doesn't exist. It's the interim champ. It's the IC.
Yeah. I do think that we're kind of seeing what Mox had envisioned for his original run, where he would just wrestle everyone and everywhere.
Everything. Yeah, he's got nothing to lose with this particular belt at this time.
Which is,
And his headspace is so much better. Like, the poor guy, it was a terrible time for him to do a run in a lot of ways, and the pressure that was on him, and still just basically being fresh off the WWE thing and getting his ass kicked, and him and Renee trying to have babies and shit. Like, it was not the best time for the poor guy to get the belt, even though that was a good plan on Tony's part.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, dude, I remember back to like Carlos Condit being like the interim champion, and to this day, people still feeling like he was an actual champion because of it. And there's been a few of them, like in UFC, where people have held interim titles, and in people's minds, they were just the champ, even though there was still some other guy that was just out injured. And then they would come back, and half the time those interim champs would lose to the original champ. But like, make it mean something. Like, if he's the interim guy, talk about him like he's the champ. Don't talk about the other guy right now. This is part of Tony's thing, though. He's banking so much on CM, and CM's his buddy now. It's all friends wrestling.
Yeah. Well, it's also like,
fine.
I get,
but Mox is one of the friends. Just let him have the fucking run, bro.
But I also get like CM Punk is like supposed to be kind of the figurehead of AEW that he's always wanted from the beginning. You got to treat him like that superstar too. And I get that. And so that's what came to mind to me first when I saw that, was that, oh, like he still wants to keep some shine on Punk. He still wants to take care of him in that regard.
Yeah, but that's a mistake. It's a mistake.
Yeah.
Because the biggest problem with AEW right now is that everything has cooled. What to you, like, when I say hot angle, what is the hot angle at AEW right now?
To me, I think it's I think the hot thing for me personally, it's Swerving Your Glory and Team Taz. It's those guys, and it's the belts, but it's also,
and congrats to Swerve and Keith on
actually.
That's
so great. But then you have Ricky Starks.
But you know why? You know why Tony almost has to do that? Because look at that tag division. Just the weird antics of Swerve, kind of fucking with Keith Lee a little bit, literally doing his indie gimmick from 6 years ago.
What you said
is a better storyline than anything else they've got going. It creates intrigue. It creates interest. It's an actual story of like, is Keith Lee going to keep trusting this dude? Is this dude just playing with him, or is he really going to screw him over? Like, we love him, but is he a heel? That's great.
It's exactly what we were talking about a while ago. Like, these guys, for all those reasons, are the most interesting hot thing going on right now in the company, because not just the tag division in my mind.
No,
because
the whole company.
The whole idea, or the whole like synergy between Swerve and Keith Lee being an actual really good tag team. They're not two guys who are put together because of any number of similarities.
Well, I mean, I think that they were put together just because there was nothing better to do with them when they both came in. But
they both came in at the same time. They both have the same sort of history.
And Swerve's actually a really good tag wrestler. Like, he tags in a lot of indies and a lot of places. Like,
he's just
he's got he just won other indie tag belts, like Defy or something else. He just won.
I think it goes
with someone else, not even with Keith Lee.
I think it goes well beyond that, where he is just one. He's so smooth in the ring, but he's so smooth because he's so much smarter than anyone else in the ring.
I loved him in Wrestle Circus. That was
also holds him back.
That was so good.
Yeah,
and MLW too.
That had to have held him back in WWE, and that held Chris Hero back, because they're like, no, the more you know of and have confidence in what you're doing, the more they want to deconstruct you, push you down.
He doesn't do their thing. I mean, it's still the problem that Ricochet's having. Like, Ricochet, even in the IC title picture, he's just not. He's not a Shawn Michaels kind of IC champ. He's this other indie. He still works like an indie guy.
He has no presence.
Not the WWE thing.
WWE presence.
You know what I would say, honestly, to me in AEW, the second hottest thing is I've been liking Thunderstorm. I just think it's kind of a fun, interesting angle. It's a weird little chemistry. It makes you kind of question things, but it's like the same thing as the Keith and Swerve thing. It's almost the exact same storyline. They're both working, and the way that AEW spaces their stories, sometimes out by 2-3 weeks at a time, like, they're not really, you don't feel the similarities because they're not, everything is so disjointed, which is kind of funny because again, AEW has had this issue before with the whole, like, dissension in the big group thing, where they had like 4 groups doing that at the same time and they were all the hot angle. But let me ask you this. So what's the hot angle in WWE right now?
I don't pay attention to it at all.
Take a guess what the hot angle is.
I mean, Austin Theory.
That's one of them.
What's he doing what is he going to do if Cena's not around?
He's fighting the other guy that doesn't have his guy around, Arcade Bro. He's fighting
Oh, bro.
Riddle.
I don't know. I mean, I have so many other things that I'd rather watch that I don't really pay attention. I mean, I don't have time to invest in a whole bunch of their 3 hours, 5 hours every week.
Well,
or
yeah,
something.
but I mean, like, look, their hot angles are super obvious. It's Brock and Roman, because that's been their hot angle for 5 years, but it's still hot because Roman's hot, not because of Brock. Like, Brock's getting some decent pops or whatever, but it's like that Randy face run 5 years ago that just was kind of like, everyone was like, okay, it's Randy Orton again. Yay.
Mm-hmm.
We like Randy. Yay. Brock's kind of getting a little bit of that. And then you've got Street Profits and Usos, which is fucking fire, and
they're great, but
for ages now.
Aren't they teasing? Isn't it storyline that they're teasing Montez breaking away from Dawkins?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, this is an angle that started even before RK Bro started feuding with the Usos.
Mm-hmm.
Street Profits were always in that angle. It's the long play. There is literally no tag division, and they make it feel like there's a tag division simply by having the foresight to say, okay, well, after, Randy has to go on his little break and we do this RK Bro thing, if it works out, we need to keep the Street Profits healthy so that they can be the next one for the Usos. And they had that kind of foresight, and they did it, and it works. And it's been the hot angle for months. Like these angles started before WrestleMania. We're like 4 pay-per-views after that now.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, and this is the difference between AEW and WWE. And I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying that I want WWE to have better stories, and I want AEW to have a story.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's different audiences that they're really going for. I really like that sort of everything is slapped together as like, oh, what are the matchups going to be this week?
Maybe
with AEW. But then
I felt like that with Lucha Underground, but then also you get to the show and you'd be like, oh, this match really does play into that match from 3 weeks ago, and then it's going to play into this thing that might happen 2 or 3 weeks from now, and I'll be on the lookout for it. I won't know when it's coming. But when it does come, I'll understand what's happening.
I think AEW does have some big stories, but like what we were saying, it's the ones that they pay attention to and are focused on. That it's not, this is how they treat everything. And there are certain talents who are good talents that get lost by the wayside because they aren't they're not the Kenny Omega types or the Jericho types.
Yeah, they're not best friends wrestlers. They're not the all friends wrestling.
Yeah, but also they're not like taking, or maybe they're just not good at coming up with all of their own ideas.
Look,
or like
when AEW gets 12 guys that they will let take the mic that can be as good on the mic as guys like MJF, they're going to be set. Like, just let those guys have the book. And this is why I say, like, I don't mind. Like, let the Young Bucks have the book. Let them fuck over FTR or whatever. It's their goddamn promotion. They're EVPs. Let them do it. I don't care. Just let somebody do it, and let them do it consistently. Like, give me the storylines, give me the characters, give me those people being the stars of your show. Like, I can't even tell you who the A level of performers at AEW is right now. Like, it's almost 50-50 now with everyone on the entire roster.
Yeah, and also
there's a few guys like Griff that are maybe clearly considered not top guys.
No, Griff is clearly considered the top guy in his team by far.
Well, I guess that's true.
But every time I see him, I go, oh, he's so much better than the guy who we actually know standing next to him.
I know.
But
look, you can tell the promotion loves him. They stole their valet.
Yeah. No. I mean,
you guys are so good. We're going to yank your valet and put her with some team that can actually do something for her.
I think they do like Griff, but it's also where do they fit in?
Well, exactly.
But he got he actually still got a match because he looks like Jungle Boy. They still put that on TV which was hilarious.
And they try to give him some heat too, which is hilarious. It's like, no, just let the dude be a jobber. It's fine. If you're using JD Drake as a fucking jobber who is 20 times more experienced than him, like, they use Matt Sydal as a jobber, and I'm like, oh my God, Matt's so good right now. The guy's literally at the height of his career. Somebody please push him. And like, it's what, Impact pushing him? Oh,
I think they did great with Sydal because
I think he should be a top guy, man.
I mean, he should maybe start winning matches.
Dude,
but
he should be in there feuding with Wardlow and Scorpio Sky and the TV guys. Like, I think you could really push him as a top mid-level guy, like an IC champ level guy.
Yeah. Oh, he earned it.
I think especially for the AEW body style and type and work style, Sydal's really good, and I think he's got decent mic skills now too. I really think you could do something with that guy. He's got a good look, his action in the ring, like him and Sammy Guevara are always fire too. Like, I think that was kind of wasted. All right, one last thing.
I think he was also mentoring though. As well.
Yeah, he was. No, and he's that's the other thing. He's a great dude. Like, everybody loves him in the locker room too.
And that's also why Christian Cage is the top heel. He needs to be the top heel because the whole purpose of the whole thing is to make Jungle Boy a star, and he's been like the biggest dud out of the whole original roster.
Yeah, and now's the time, and we'll see if Cage can do it, which I don't know if it'll last, but we'll see. All right, so here's the last thing I want to talk about: Santana.
Oh God.
The fuck.
I had such high hopes for him. He had such a natural charisma, such a natural promo, and also like him and Ortiz.
He's cracked it under the pressure, right?
Yeah, him and Ortiz, like they got their shit together. They got in great shape, as JR would tell you every time he sees them, and they're doing great stuff. And then they do the breakaway from Inner Circle. They get their matches with Jericho. They get to cut their own promos. And every time Santana got the shine, Santana was the guy between him and Ortiz. He was like the guy. He was the one that you're supposed to gravitate towards.
Right. And so my question,
every moment.
My question is, like, what happened? Like, for those who don't know what's going on, Santana's contract is up soon. He's publicly talking about that. He's actually doing a bunch of stuff that contractually he's not supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
But he's basically all but pretty much announced that he doesn't want his contract renewed. I believe an offer was made to him. He didn't like that offer. He hasn't been liking creative that was pitched to him that Ortiz actually was kind of behind. There is legit heat between the two of them. He's feeling like Ortiz didn't back him up, but I don't think Ortiz's contract is up at the same time.
That's weird.
I don't think it is, though.
They were signed as a tag team.
I know, but I don't think their contracts are up at the same time. Maybe Ortiz already took some kind of renewal. Maybe that's
by that, not like different month, but like got an extension.
Yeah. And so whatever's happening, like Santana feels like Ortiz didn't go to bat for him, didn't do a Naomi, which I can't say is wrong. Like, look, man, you guys are a great tag team, but also to each his own. Like, if Ortiz is feeling it and wants to stay and likes the direction and like playing second fiddle to Jericho and doing some of this other stuff, which he does seem fine with. He seems comfortable in that role.
I mean, they did not get the belts, the tag belts. They did not get a solid program with the Lucha Brothers, which who knows if, the Santana.
But they're huge stars.
No, I'm just saying, like, these are the things, like, but maybe they would have gotten the Lucha Brothers program if Santana didn't already burn the bridge before the House of Black story ended.
Right.
But still, they're always heavily featured and protected by Jericho. And then they got their big singles matches with Jericho in the split. They're getting their time.
And don't get me wrong.
Blood and guts.
I felt like they could have done more. We've even talked about on this show it a few times, but then we shut up about it because they always do seem to give them enough to keep us going. And honestly, I feel like they had been better represented than the Lucha Brothers a lot of the time. Like, the Lucha Brothers had weird injuries in and out, and Pac was in and out. Like, so Death Triangle came and went a couple times. Like, I feel like Santana and Ortiz got a better run than those guys, than a lot of the tag teams. Even FTR had a really dark spot where they got jacked because they had weird injuries and shit going on. And they came in super strong and they got cooled off. And now they're I feel like they've been right there in the mix the whole time with top level storylines on TV more than a lot of people. A lot of people like Scorpio Sky had a fucking belt and was on every other week. And those guys were still on every single week.
They were heavily featured in both Blood and Guts matches, which is like one of the big time AEW matches.
They're in my mind, they are associated with the top level of AEW. So I don't know exactly what's going on with Santana, but I know from the people that I've talked to that the heat is real. Ortiz is now pissed at Santana for being pissed at him. So now there's legit both way heat. I thought it was just coming off of Santana and Ortiz was like, whatever. But no, I guess Ortiz, which is not making the locker room very happy now.
Yeah.
Because now there is legit heat. They haven't been really focusing on it on TV or anything. There's just, so basically, hate to tell you guys, but Proud and Powerful is done. Santana's going to just not be there one day and they're never going to address it. I think he's going to go out with some bad blood. And honestly, here's the other thing. Where does Santana go? Didn't they have heat when they left Impact? And like even Conan had a little bit of heat with some of the people there and has squashed it over time.
I don't know. I mean, Santana isn't going anywhere for a year at least. I mean, you saw him in the Blood and Guts match. He did 1 Uranagi and then was done for the match.
Also, way to cause waves and be the dickhead going out on an injury. Now you're gonna get nothing. That's brutal, bro.
Now he has to tell.
I hate that for him.
It's a shitty situation for him. You don't want to wish injury on anyone, but he's also he's in a spot where
or to hurt your contractual, value like that too. It's just what's one of the unfortunate things about freelance industries. Like, bro, that just sucks.
Well, won't AEW cover the injury?
Not if the contract's up. I mean, maybe they'll cover some of the medical stuff, but they're not going to disability him. He's not going to get a regular paycheck. They're just going to help pay for the rehab. He's not going to get paid if his contract's over.
Right. But and that's like he went up to TK in theory and said, I'm not going to renew. So the Blood and Guts was probably going to be his last big, hurrah.
Right. That's his big hurrah.
And then he blows out his knee in all these ways. And it's like,
and if Tony, Tony's going to help him rehab his knee. He's not going to just leave the guy out in the cold, but also he's not going to give him his guaranteed contract.
Yeah. I mean, the way I would approach this is hopefully cooler heads prevail. And I would, as Santana, ask about Ring of Honor.
I would beg to stay and suck it up and not be a bitch.
Well, I mean, ideally, he stops being a bitch, and then Proud and Powerful can be tag champs in 6 months, a year, whatever, when he could walk again.
It's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
That's what everyone wants to see.
Ortiz is going to be fine without him too, and that's the other thing. It's just and where's he going to go? Even if he was healthy, Impact, he's not going to WWE. There's no interest.
Not WWE. I mean, at his age, with
NWA,
now his leg doesn't work, so.
It ain't going to be AAA because it sounds like Conan is taking Ortiz's side. So you think that Santana would show up in AAA? Like Conan doesn't need a guy like that.
Maybe he starts working House of Glory and becomes a trainer there or something. Just sticks with his Northeast.
That's not a terrible route, but I mean wow, you're making a fifth the money you were making in AEW because you got aggro about your situation. Like
he could do that and still be an AEW part-timer or something.
Like what could have possibly been his big deal? Like what could he have been hating on that much?
Well, he's supposed to have some sort of interview or something. He's gonna speak soon or something, and we can find out. But from what I read, I don't have insider scoops or anything. I just saw someone ask on Reddit what was going on. These guys aren't working tag matches anymore. They're not standing next to each other in promos. And someone, wrestlers, a lot of wrestlers will have lots of fans as friends on Facebook too, especially the ones who spend a lot of time on the indies. And
Yeah.
There was word that like at
Show
some
friends.
yeah, and like some people were saying that they saw like they were putting two to two together. There's got to be beef. They saw at some point Santana started doing those passive aggressive, emo Facebook meme posts. People talk shit behind your back, but they won't. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Those sorts of high school type things. Like he started going down that road.
Yeah.
And it's like it's disappointing, but we're all human. Maybe he doesn't have to continue to go down that way, and maybe there's a reason that we don't know and it's not our business. But I do.
Yeah, and I agree. I feel like the whole thing is unfortunate. I feel bad for Santana, even though I feel like Santana is the one making the mistake here, from what I've heard. Like, we don't know the whole story, can't claim to. I've talked to a few people that knew a little bit about what's going on backstage, but I also don't claim to have the best sources because I'm not a dirt sheet. Like, I'll tell you what the things I hear, but I know people who are low level guys in the back, or, every now and then I talk to an agent or a talent or a performer. But also when I talk to these people, I'm not digging for news. In fact, a lot of times, and I think I originally heard about the Santana thing because somebody else was telling me, like, oh man, did you hear that Santana had beef? And that's just the thing, like I have friends at all these shows now, and I get little nuggets of information. Though I gotta say, it sucks for me that Cody and Brandy left AEW because I used to get good stuff. That was good stuff. Like, and I didn't even report it or put it. In fact, we weren't even doing the podcast for like months of that time, and I was getting all sorts of great info. I'd be talking about it to Byron. Like, I got some good ones ahead of time that would have been great for the show. But yeah, now I don't get any of that, and none.
That's
of those...
why you don't like AEW now.
No, it's great. It's still great. Like I still get some. I still get some good stuff, but I don't get like the high level stuff of, money level stuff that I was getting before. Now I get regular backstage stuff like everybody does. Mm-hmm. Just from people hearing stuff or being around or coming to TV in the morning or whatever. Like I get that stuff from pretty much every promotion. I know at least 2 or 3 people that are in the mix somewhere, except actually NXT. I don't know anyone at the current NXT product. I don't know anyone that's at TV there. I think everything we hear about it comes from Meef these days.
Yeah.
I don't know anything. And it's funny because at one point in time, we must have probably known 20 people backstage at NXT, like 20 or 30, like the whole shebang, to the point where there were people working at NXT that were like cameramen that had come from Full Sail that I knew that I didn't even know were working at NXT. Like, there were more people at NXT that we knew than, and maybe some of them are still there now, but I feel like I don't know a single soul there.
That's why they did the 2.0. MMM show is getting too close.
Maybe. I mean, that was
we got to get rid of
show.
Triple H.
That was all our guys for a while, like especially when you had HDF over there and Cross and Swerve, and then a bunch of our faves from the indies. Like, I really loved Sam Shaw the whole time he was there. And then Shotzi, who was always super cool when she was out on the indies, and like we hung out with her a bunch, and like all those people that came through there just all disappeared. And God bless Shotzi. I hope to God she survives all the crap that they're giving her at WWE right now.
It's a shame. It's a shame. Like you could see
She's
it right
such
away.
A good talent.
You could see it right away when they called her up, and then when they fired Scarlett and they brought Shotzi up to the main without her tag partners. Like, they immediately turned her into the sort of sexy heel bitch type. And it's like, oh, they're doing what you would do with Scarlett if she was a talent. But they're making Shotzi do it, and in doing so,
Shotzi was so much better as just the fun baby face driving around with the tank.
And they get rid of the tank, get rid of the helmet. And you know what? Make her a heel, but keep the tank and the helmet. Those are her.
Maybe
let her keep her personality.
But this again, and it's almost like they had to change this stuff because she's in the same category with Max Dupree of like, we brought you up, but we just basically fired Triple H for not running that shop the right way that we wanted. So we're going to pretend that whatever was done with you down there was garbage. And they did the same with Cross when they brought him up, though he was brought up earlier, so he suffered the Nick Khan cuts, just like Keith and all those guys. And I still don't know how Damian Priest avoided that, but I'm liking him more and more now. Maybe because he's the only guy left from that era. I don't know.
Just
I like the Judgment Day thing though that they're doing, and even though I wish they would go ahead and just expand it, I know that they're playing kind of the long con here with Dominic Mysterio. And with the return of Edge, so, and of course Ripley's out now. God,
she got a concussion.
They had all of these good stuff, all these good things going. Poor WWE was really kind of on a good path and really rebuilding everything after the Nick Khan cuts and all that shit. And then they just got fucked. They got decimated with Vince scandals and people injured, and part-timers times not working out the right way, and losing Cena now from big stuff. And
I gotta say, all this crazy stuff going on, really, if you're a wrestling fan, where you need to be is you just need to start watching Stardom. They just had some major shit go on. I'm gonna fuck everything up. I just realized, by the way, I watched Thunder Rosa's match with Miyu Yamashita. I've been saying Miyu Yamashita like a fucking asshole all this time. Yamashita Miyu.
The whole thing with Japanese U's are almost never pronounced. Like it's not Asuka, it's Asuka.
Like if it's in there, but or like Mas.
Yeah.
It's so like, also like I look at a word and I'm like, here are all the syllables, so I know what to say. Yamashita, and then you hear them say it's like Yamashita. Like, you could just mumble your way through.
Right, but you should. That's the way. That's the vernacular. It's Yamashita.
But for my money, that shit's great. By the way, Thunder had a fantastic match, and then they're gonna have a rematch for the title in AEW. I think that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Thunder Rosa is awesome.
Happy birthday week to Thunder Rosa.
Is it her birthday this week?
She said happy birthday. It's my birthday week, and I don't know which day it is because I suck.
Oh, I have it in my calendar. You can also just go back to the MMM show page and look at whenever I posted gratuitous Mark photos of me and Mel, or Jim and Mel, or anybody but you and Mel.
I have pictures of her.
Really? Are they any good? Because mine look hot.
She took them. I think they're great.
You're saying she's an artist, but basically you made an artist do bad art.
I didn't do anything. I think the picture's great. It's a snapshot of a moment in time.
I'm trying to think if Mel's birthday is this close to Cross's. Is that really true?
That's what she was saying.
Julia just give free birthday stuff, like like the cam girls do and shit. Like every week is a cam girl's birthday.
Should we do an MMM OnlyFans?
Yes. On one condition.
What?
There will be penis. And it will be Vince McMahon's from a 2004 dick pic photo off a Motorola Razr.
It's gonna be Casey's. Casey, I had a big movie day.
He really wants to let that thing out of the box, doesn't he?
He really does. But he wants to let a lot of basically everything in his pants. He will not stop talking about. So I had a big movie day. I had him and a few other friends over, and we watched The Kindred. We watched Without Warning, Spookies, and a fourth movie all on the same day. And Casey made it a point to take a shit in my home. He also went to my office and ripped a fart like so bad that I think the paint started peeling off. And he and our friend Kevin couldn't stop giggling about it.
I was looking for Mel's birthday and I found this one.
I was inquiring on your well-being. I was wondering how you were, genuinely and sincerely. I've had one molecule in my body my entire life to express compassion and affection towards another human being in this parameter, and I come to find out that you are a genuine Lafitte snob.
Oh shit!
And you will eventually, because we all die. But when you die, Byron, I'm gonna have a fucking barbecue, right? And I'm gonna sleep like a baby.
That's fucked
One
up.
of the best promos, just random Cross promo, just because Cross walks by, me and Jim are there, and we've been talking to him and Marty and whatever, and all of a sudden, we've been there for hours with Cross, and then he's just like, where the fuck's Byron? We're like, Byron? He's like, yeah, the redheaded, the big, tall, lurping mother. Pull out your fucking phone. And then he's just like, pull out your fucking phone. And I'm like, here we go. And then Byron is just like, eviscerated. He called you an effete snob. That's so tasty. That's
he knows me really well, but still, he didn't have to be rude about it.
You fucking pegged. Well, look, at least he was thinking about you.
I didn't go to the PC. I went to the Circle 6 show, and I fist bumped him and all that shit, and I texted him afterwards. And then and we talked a little bit about my arm injury. He's super nice, except when he doesn't want to be nice to me. Like, I wasn't at the PCW show last Friday.
No, like, he's super nice when you're healing from a wound because he wants to re-inflict that on you. And also, have any of these things worked? Maybe he's ribbing you and giving you bad advice and making it sound like he really cares.
No, things are going really well for Mark. I should be back to playing hockey.
So he's genuinely trying to heal you so he can break you himself.
Yeah, but then he sees that I'm not at the PCW show, the recent LA show right before his birthday. And he gives Jim a message for me, and then he also sends me a voice message, threatening, telling me how mad he is, and threatening, my personal well-being.
I'm gonna get those from Massaro this week too, because I can't go to his Circle 6 show in Cleveland, and he ain't got no other homies in the 216.
Oh no!
But I'm gonna be out of town. I
got to bring him pizza.
I got my goddaughters. I got to take care of them that day. And they're a little too young to be going to Circle 6 shows.
Bring them to the show. Wrap them in saran wrap.
No, I don't think I'm taking a 7-year-old little cute sweetheart kid to Circle 6 as her first exposure to wrestling. Anyway,
I
gotta go to bed, Byron.
The last Circle 6 show that I went to, speaking of 7-year-olds, Scarlett beat the fuck out of a dude with a dildo.
I know. That's the best part about that's her whole gimmick, is to beat up perverts with their perversions. I think that is absolutely the way that the women should be getting back at the bad things that business has done to them over the years.
Hell yeah.
Hey, Byron.
What's up? What do you want to talk about now?
Do you want to know what I have to say about that? Stay calm and stay in the mix.